ESPN welcomes you to the following presentation of the Southeastern Conference.
Welcome to ESPN College Football, presented by Marathon as part of Veterans Week, brought to you by USAA. LSU has arrived here in Arkansas as the buzz team of college football, and they now control their destiny for a trip to the SEC Championship, all because of the thrilling finish a week ago.
What can Jaden Daniels do? Will his legs play a part in this OT as Young's did? Keeper escapes, makes a cut. Daniels in space. He'll score! Look out, he's going for the win right now. Daniels for the win. Caught! It's gone! LSU does it! Mason Taylor! The night they'll never forget in Baton Rouge.
So now LSU is primed to clinch the toughest can be SEC West. To do so, they got to take care of business against a hungry, fired-up Arkansas squad. It's the annual Battle for the Golden Boot rivalry. Joe Tessitore and Greg McElroy with you. And how do you possibly explain this LSU season? It starts with heartbreak week one, and now we're talking potential, dare I say it, playoff.
They're on their way. I think a lot of people would make the case that they control their own destiny to not just get to Atlanta, obviously, but winner in Atlanta against the potential Georgia Bulldogs. I mean, how can you not put this team in the college football playoff? But what stands in their way are the Arkansas Razorbacks, and I think to a certain extent what stands in their way are the ghosts of last week. Will they be hung over at all today when they take on a team that's very hungry but might not be at 100% as far as their personnel availability?
Arkansas won the toss. They elect to defer. Temperatures 36 degrees. And about an hour ago, we still had the remnants of snow and ice that they were getting off the field. So Jake Bates will kick off. Noah Kane back to receive. LSU can clinch a spot in the SEC championship game today. They get a win, and then Bama beats Ole Miss, and that would happen. We do have news concerning Arkansas today, Katie.
Yeah, Tess, I'm told that Malik Hornsby will start at quarterback this afternoon as KJ Jefferson continues to deal with that shoulder injury. As much as Jefferson wants to be out on the field with his teammates, he understands that playing hurt right now does not give this team its best chance to win. He and Sam Pittman agreed on Friday morning. Hornsby should get the keys to the car. He's had a great week of practice. This team has really rallied around Hornsby for what will be his first career start.
So we will see him when Arkansas gets to the field. For now, it is Jaden Daniels, who last week started in overtime with the 25-yard touchdown run and then throwing the game-winning two-point conversion. Daniels on first down. You know what he can do with his legs as he is finally taken down by Drew Sanders, who leads the SEC in sacks.
And Jaden Daniels, I think, is the best illustration of just how far this LSU team has come. He's been playing his best football the last few weeks, really starting on the road at Florida and rounding out into being a terrific player.
Here he is, keeping the ball and running ahead for a first down.
He's always had a tremendous ability. He can run it, he can throw it, but now his understanding of the bigger picture, understanding how to distribute the football and the nuances to playing the position, he's never looked better in the last few weeks in his college career.
Daniels on first down. Offensive line doing a good job, but the coverage downfield was sensational, and thus he goes to the ground with Bumper Poole coming straight in, the team captain, third-team All-America a year ago. Jashad Stewart also involved.
It'll be really interesting to see how Arkansas and Barry Odom decide to play. Right there, you can see two guys there at the second level. Number 42, Drew Sanders, and Bumper Poole, both with eyes in the backfield. So a three-man rush from Barry Odom so far, with both linebackers responsible for the legs of the LSU quarterback.
A gap pressure. They pick it up on 2nd and 11. Daniels can't get free, though, of that next wave, as it was Chris Paul getting to Daniels.
It's really made possible by this inside pressure. You can see Drew Sanders, number 42, really blowing up the left side of that offensive line. And you see the layered pressure as well coming around and dropping Jaden Daniels in the backfield yet again to set up a nice 3rd and long. Great start for this Arkansas defense.
Defensive coordinator Barry Odom, he said our margin of error is very slim this week with injuries and suspensions. And on 3rd and 18, don't worry about it, says Josh Williams for LSU. 20-yard run.
And just 5 guys inside for Arkansas defensively. They're thinking pass, obviously, on 3rd and long. Instead, Mike Denbrock, the offensive coordinator for LSU, decides to hand it inside, and they get a really nice gain. Great job there by LSU.
Well, Demery's way, and then he tucks and runs and comes just short of midfield, met by Drew Sanders. So the Arkansas defense, obviously, Jaden Catalon, All-American candidate, has been out for the season since early on. Their safety. But then this week, Miles Slusher was suspended. He plays that nickel position. He's critical to what they try to do, Greg.
Yeah, he is. And they've really struggled in the back end. The front's been decent. The linebackers have been very good. But really, the back end of this defense has been very susceptible all season long. Just haven't really been able to find the right pieces to stop anyone through the air.
Come with Neighbors on the motion, and he keeps his balance. That was a good run for a first down from Malik Neighbors.
I like the way that LSU is kind of utilizing a little bit of tempo so far. Kind of getting this offense into a fast start. Nice run there on the sideline by Neighbors, as you see he's breaking some tackles. But I like this tempo. Hey, you have a big week last week. Avoid the hangover by doing what? Starting fast and playing with a little rhythm offensively.
That ball is intercepted right at the line of scrimmage by Brini. Latavius Brini, the transfer from Georgia, who was a starter on last year's national championship team, comes up with the turnover.
And this is just a great job by Brini at the end of the line of scrimmage. Jaden Daniels has the RPO. He can either hand it off to Emery or throw it. When he sees those defenders come up, he thinks he's going to be able to throw a slant right in behind Brini, but Neighbors kind of stops his route, and Brini plays it perfectly. What a huge play there by the Arkansas defense. And a nice tackle, too, by Jaden Daniels. If he doesn't make it, Brini's to the house.
Remember, Malik Hornsby, the starting quarterback for Arkansas. KJ Jefferson unable to go. He's been dealing with continued pain in recent weeks. They go with the screen at Jackson, and Jackson is wrapped up by Greg Penn.
Malik Hornsby is an elite athlete, tremendous runner, the fastest guy on the team. Accuracy has been a little bit of a work in progress, but if you talk to the staff, they're very excited about the week of practice that he's had, and they think he's more capable through the air today than ever before.
Rocket Sanders, not much there as B.J. Ojulari, one of the best defensive ends in the SEC, makes the tackle.
See, Arkansas, a team that really likes to utilize hyper speed with their tempo and their approach offensively.
3rd down and 6. Hornsby to run it, and he's tripped up. And that was Ojulari again, as he just got a piece of the ultra-fast Malik Hornsby. So the punt team will come out. So the interception then turns into a 3-and-out for Arkansas.
This is a nice job here. A little bit of a game stunt here. A little twist off the edge. Ojulari reads it quickly and drop Hornsby for the 3rd down stop.
Reed Bauer with a sidewinding knuckler that goes out of bounds. LSU will have their 2nd possession when we return on a chilly day in Fayetteville.
I'm the captain of the Pee Wee football team. We may be small, but we are.
It all started when we showed up in Austin waving a Wazoo flag. Then it kind of became an obsession. After 15 years, game day finally came to Washington State. Now we keep doing it because game day isn't just a day, it's a lifestyle.
In critical moments, you often revert back to what you've done in the past. That's not the case right now with LSU. Could there have been a more critical moment last week? 2-point conversion. Jaden Daniels on his 5th step. This is sprint right option. You have to throw it on your 5th step. If you throw it any later, you're late and your receiver is out of bounds. On the most critical moment of the entire season, you saw the coaching on display from not just Mike Denbrock, but also from Brian Kelly. Jaden Daniels executed it perfectly, and that play test, an illustration of just how far this LSU team has come in the last 10 weeks.
Game-winning 2-point conversion last week against Alabama. And this is Booty with the reception. Let's go to the studio to Matt.
Tessitore, good afternoon. How about this? It is just a rare occurrence. First pass of the game, Brennan Armstrong, pick 6. Second pass of the game, Brennan Armstrong, pick 6. This one of Marquise Williams. 2 passes, 2 pick 6s. Pittsburgh up 14-0.
So that's what's going on in Charlottesville. We've got a 2nd and 5 here with Jaden Daniels to pass. And good pressure again on him. This time it was Terry Hampton, the transfer from Arkansas State.
So far, Arkansas has done a really good job with their linebackers. This particular case, it's 10 bumper pool. Running in and just kind of disrupting the offensive line and the protection of Jaden Daniels. It's forcing the quarterback to move off of his spot, and the other Arkansas defenders are there to drop him. It's been a good start so far from Arkansas with their pass rush.
So the finger pointing.
False start. Offense, number 50. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
It's one of the 2 true freshman tackles. Emory Jones, who mans that right side. Reminder, Saturday Night Football presented by Capital One tonight. TCU and Texas. TCU up to number 4 in the college football playoff rankings. That's 7:30 Eastern on ABC. Penalty makes it 3rd and 12. 2 sacks, 3 TFLs already for Arkansas's defense.
Different look from Barry Odom defensively now.
Daniels on 3rd and 12. Overthrows Keishawn Booty.
Last time, Barry Odom opted to go with more of a conservative, hey, they're going to throw it in 3rd and long. This time, he says, no, we're going to line up, we're going to play man-to-man. After LSU converted on the 3rd and long with a run play right up the middle. So, little cat and mouse so far in the early going between the offensive coordinator of LSU, Mike Denbrock, and Barry Odom, the defensive coordinator of the Arkansas Razorbacks.
So Jay Bramblett is in the shadows at around the 3-yard line, is into punt for LSU. Bryce Stevens could put Arkansas in great field position as he sets up shop at the 40. Bramblett, good driving, hanging. Pano, it's mishandled for a moment before Stevens regathers. Now he's trying to get to the edge. And he's able to and makes the most of this return. Oh, good job by Bryce Stevens after not securing it cleanly at first. And that is where Arkansas will take over when we return.
It's not the truck you drive.
ESPN College Football is presented by Marathon. Get the most out of your drive. And in part by Walmart. All the things you need for all the ways we holiday.
Back at 47, they got together in the Cotton Bowl. It was the Ice Bowl then. We felt like we woke up to the new age Ice Bowl between LSU and Arkansas. This was the scene, Greg, this morning, as they were shoveling away, scraping the ice and the snow. They're out there with the blowers, and everybody's saying, oh, I got to get my footing, and how do my finger? I mean, look at the goalpost.
It was wild, man. I mean, it looked like a winter wonderland out here for a little bit. You can tell us down here in the SEC, we don't really know how to handle snow real well. But that Big Ten country, that thing would be cleared in about 15 minutes.
Oh,
down here, it took them hours.
September. Good field position to start this drive as Hornsby gets this complete to Hazelwood, and it's a first down for the Hogs. Katie.
Well, to Greg's point, the grounds crew actually sprayed water on the ice and snow thinking that it would melt it and break it up. That actually backfired and made things worse, but luckily the sun peeked over and it did its job.
Sanders has nowhere to go, thankfully for that sun. Leads the SEC in rushing yards, over 1,100. There's that pile of Ice to the side. Sanders got to 1,000 yards in only 8 games. Hornsby, this is where he's dangerous. Arguably the fastest player on the team, and just glides his way to a Hogs first down.
And just a great job out in front blocking. I mean, this is really well executed there by the Arkansas Razorbacks on the offensive line. Rocket Sanders as well. Really nicely done.
Hornsby with time. Now the pocket starts to go away as he extends the play and then turns. And he will just scoot out at the 25-yard line, chased out by Perkins.
Hornsby is a dynamic player. Of course, KJ Jefferson's their leader. But they actually mentioned KJ Jefferson's first start a couple years ago when referencing rallying troops around Malik Hornsby. Say it's very similar circumstances when Felipe Franks was out a couple of years back and KJ made his first start and led him to 48 offensive points.
2nd and 7, Sanders going to be 3rd and short as Ojulari rides him down at the 21-yard line.
4-down territory here for the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Sanders gets to the edge past Perkins and has a first down. And you take advantage of the good field position. You do some things with your legs. And Kendall Briles' offense is finding its rhythm early on.
Well, you would think that Kendall is really going to use and challenge that offensive line. This LSU team, very emotional game last week, and they're feeling it early with a physical offensive look.
Hornsby tackled and gotten that time by Greg Penn, and if he didn't, with Hornsby's electric speed, he may be going right to that pylon.
Just an outstanding play by Greg Penn. I mean, he gets engaged on the end of the line of scrimmage against Trey Knox, and Knox is in really good position, but Penn just strong enough to disengage and drop Hornsby with his right arm. Just an excellent play there by the linebacker.
He looks to Sanders, now looks downfield and throws a quick strike that's incomplete, intended for Keytron Jackson. It'll be 3rd and long.
A good decision there by Malik Hornsby. Nothing there, well covered. You're already inside of field goal range. Don't force it into really tight coverage. Just dirt it and live to play 3rd and long.
3rd and 12. Hornsby in an empty look with Sanders split to the bottom of your screen. 4 receivers there.
Keep an eye right here on the LSU linebacker, Harold Perkins, number 40. He's a complete game changer at the 2nd level, and he's very disruptive on 3rd down.
One of the best freshmen in the country. Going to run it with Hornsby on 3rd and 12, and he will be well short of the line to gain as Roy made the tackle.
Good drive here by the Arkansas Razorbacks. I know it doesn't ultimately end up in points. At the 2nd time, though, that they've had good field position. We're empty-handed on the first drive. You got to get something out of it here. So a good start so far for Arkansas on both sides of the ball.
Well, Cam Little comes in, 9 of 11 on the year. Great kid. Had a nice conversation with him earlier. And he puts the Hogs on the board. And he donates money to Down Syndrome Connection of Northwest Arkansas for every field goal he makes. Charitable souls, Cam Little.
UFC 281. Buy it on ESPNplus.com/PPV.
You're watching Veterans Week coverage on ESPN, brought to you by USAA.
Glad you're with us watching the SEC on ESPN here on the campus of the University of Arkansas. It is a cold, chilly, yes, sunny, but cold Saturday morning here as the Hogs with a 28-yard field goal have Cam Little have a 3-0 lead. Noah Kane from the 2-yard line on the return. Flags are down as he is taken down at the 25-yard line.
It would be another really, really bad starting field position for the LSU Tigers.
Well, they've had 2 possessions, and their average starting field positions, they're on 23.
There were 2 fouls on the return team during the play. Holding, return team number 32. That penalty is declined. Holding, return team number 17. That penalty is enforced 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
Let's go to the studio to Matt.
All right, Joe Tess, IHG Hotels and Resort Studio update time. You wonder how long it was going to take for Tennessee to knock off that stank from a week ago. Jabari Small punches it in, 7 plays, 91 yards. Tennessee up 7-0.
So LSU from the 10-yard line as John Emery goes ahead for 4 yards. Katie.
You know, you guys mentioned this would be a physically demanding game. B.J. Ojulari was already taking oxygen on the sidelines. LSU also requested hot chocolate, chicken broth, and coffee for the team due to the cold temperatures.
So they have craft services now? Hollywood Craft Services come to Fayetteville?
Espresso, perhaps, on the
Perhaps. You go espresso and a little Nutella drip, and I'm all in on a cold day. Ball is loose, and the Hogs look to have it. Latavius Brini, who had the interception earlier, may have his second turnover of the day. Jordan Dominic got out and forced that fumble.
And this is perfectly played by Jordan Dominic. By the end of the line of scrimmage, he runs right at the mesh. Kind of forces a little bit of indecision for Jaden Daniels. He opts to keep it, but doesn't ever really get it tucked away. As you can see, it's still kind of out and floating a little bit in his right arm, and Dominic gets a hand on it. Just an unbelievably great start for Arkansas on defense. Forced a couple turnovers and have really given their offense some great opportunities.
So now A.J. Green in the backfield as it's 1st and goal with the ball right on the 10-yard line. Remember, Hornsby the starting quarterback. As K.J. Jefferson, that bad bruising in the clavicle area, just too much and couldn't go today. And Green inside the 5. Jay Ward was able to tackle him. 2nd and goal.
Nice tackle there. As you can see, Jaden Daniels looking on. A slow start for this LSU team is nothing new. And man, what a great start for the Razorbacks.
Green again, only able to manage about a yard. As Ward was there, as was Jones.
And it's a huge down here for LSU defensively. I mean, sudden change, ball on the 10, 1st and goal situation. And to potentially force Arkansas into a field goal would be massive. So a huge down here for B.J. Ojulari and Matt House, who's the defensive coordinator of the LSU Tigers.
3rd and goal. Hornsby, can he get to the edge? Can he find a crease? No. Excellent pursuit right down the line by the Tigers. That entire defensive front, you see Matt House, the coordinator, just shifted to the right and went straight down into Hornsby.
And this is just a beautiful job by Greg Penn. They ran this play earlier, but look at how he jumps outside Hudson Henry and really kind of forces that thing back up inside. The offense still on the field for the Razorbacks. I don't know if I necessarily agree with this. I mean, you have to leave the field with points when your defense gives you the ball on the 10. So I don't know if I necessarily agree, but on the left hash, you do have the option to run your quarterback to the right and throw it into the flat, kind of like LSU did on the 2-point conversion last week.
4th and goal from the 3. Hornsby looking to pass. Hornsby being chased, and it goes down. So a turnover of downs on the 2-yard line as Bijo Ojulari was the first to get there, and then Mekhi Wingo cleaned it up. The LSU defense does their job.
And this is really nice. Watch Mekhi Wingo and watch how he's constantly keeping his eyes on the quarterback, okay? Look, he's engaged right there in the middle. But look, he's watching, and all of a sudden, as soon as Hornsby tucks to get ready to run, he disengages and falls on the quarterback. That's outstanding there by Wingo, as Sam Pittman's got to be very frustrated after the aggressive call and not being able to turn the sudden change turnover into points.
Brini gives him an interception, gives him a fumble recovery, and they only come away with 3 points. And now Jaden Daniels from the end zone. Williams trying to find any breathing room. Excellent leg drive to carry Campbell with him. Let's get an update from Matt.
Maybe the catch of the year, Joe Tessitore, Notre Dame, Navy, Braden Lenzy. Watch him just take this off the back of the defender. That's mine. Here's another angle at it. Unbelievable. 14-0 Irish over Navy in the first.
And then rips it directly off his back. Josh Williams on 2nd and 5. It's going to be 3rd and goal after that run. 3rd and 1, after that run.
Amazing catch. See right there. But I like how Denbrock now, you got to challenge the offensive line. So far, Arkansas and Barry Odom, they've had a really nice plan with their pass rush, layering some of their pressures and allowing both Bumper Pool, Andrew Sanders to see if they can't shoot through these offensive linemen. But if I'm LSU, man, I want to run right at these guys and use my big physical offensive line and run game to impose my will.
3rd and 1, Williams. As that second surge will move the chains.
And LSU across the board along the offensive line. I mean, they go 325, 323, 300, 345, 335. I mean, they're averaging around 320 and change across the board. Arkansas is no slouch. They got some big guys up front as well, but eventually that size and mass that LSU has along the front can wear you down over the course of the game.
Williams goes ahead for 2.5 yards. AT&T 5G Skycam from here at Razorback Stadium. The battle for the Golden Boot.
LSU very fortunate right now here as we about to put a bow on the first quarter of action. LSU is getting absolutely dominated in field position and has 2 turnovers, and yet still with the ball only down 3. Got to think after they've had about as bad a start as you can imagine, still only be down a couple points has to be a bit of a moral victory, that's for sure.
Arkansas defense doing their job here in the first quarter. They've gotten to Jaden Daniels, put him down a couple times. They've gotten the ball themselves, and it's a 3-0 Hogs lead here at home against the number 17 in the country.
Research shows that people remember ads with young people having a good time. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance, here's a pool.
Cheez-It, official sponsor of the college football playoff.
Future Hall of Famers collide tomorrow on ESPN.
That is hockey.
Hey, look at the average starting field position. You would expect to see the scoreboard with Arkansas with a substantial lead.
Yeah,
3-0 as we start the second quarter.
It's definitely been all Hogs here in the early going, that's for sure.
2nd and 7 for LSU. Up to number 7 now in the college football playoff rankings as Armani Goodwin can't find much there. Just getting to the 21-yard line. Be 3rd and about 4.
Brian Kelly obviously all week long saying, hey, understand last week means nothing if you don't take care of business this week. So got to find a way to get his offense into a bit of a rhythm, because so far here in the first 15 minutes, the offense has been a little flat and has made some critical errors.
Third and 4. They're going to run it straight up the middle with Goodwin, and he's going to be short as Dominic made the tackle. Remember, he had the forced fumble earlier.
And they're going to go for it. It looked like the punt team was all getting ready to run on. Brian Kelly being very aggressive.
They're at the 24-yard line, Greg.
It's very aggressive. I mean, I don't like it necessarily, not in this position. Make the backup quarterback, Malik Hornsby, drive the length of the field, which you could give it to him inside the 25-yard line here.
So here we go, 4th and 1, and they are going to use a timeout. They put the offense on the field for a 4th and 1 from their own 24 before using a timeout, and we will take that break with them.
Hi, thanks for helping me out.
Of course. You can easily get helpful customer service over the
1500 SLT with over 60 new Sierras to choose from at Legacy Buick GMC in Slidell.
LSU 4th and 1 from their own 24, Greg?
Now, I don't like it. I mean, not when you're working against a backup quarterback. And so far, look, I know analytics and everything would tell you, hey, 1 yard to go, doesn't matter where it is, you go for it. But it's not like your offense has really been dominating. The offense has been kind of lethargic, and the defense has been playing great. So I would punt it and make Malik Hornsby for Arkansas go the distance as opposed to potentially giving him the short field.
Here's 4th and 1. Daniels keeps it, has it, flag is down. As they're going to whistle this back, as it looked like there was some movement.
False start. Offense, number 86. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
That's last week's hero, Mason Taylor. So the decision is made for you with the penalty.
I don't know. I think Jaden Daniels probably would have picked that up, but either way, man, it's been a bit of a slow start and a sloppy start from LSU. So punting it here probably still the best result.
They've had slow starts this year, but they've had incredible, dramatic second halves of games. So again, Bramlett to punt, second time. Stevens once again given, and it's a fake. Bramlett's going to run it here. And he's able to get it, but it looked like, yes, the penalty's down at the 20-yard line. You could see that edge block, and the penalty flag came in. And once again,
during the run, holding, kicking team number 6. 10-yard penalty from the start of the 5. Repeat 4th down.
Seemed like it was pretty easy to see on the edge, Greg.
He's just trying to hook that widest defender and just engage for so long. I mean, you're having to hold that block forever, and so difficult to engage for that long. And did a pretty good job initially, but fortunately for Mike Jones, he grabs that jersey and got to line it up again.
Now Bramlett 4 yards deep into his own end zone. Stevens has a real chance for a good return. From the 48. Coverage unit got down there in time, and another flag is down as Stevens gets to midfield.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Receiving team, number 24. 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
First penalty of the game on Arkansas. Matt Berry, what's going on?
Well, we got an interesting noon window led by your guys' game here on ESPN. Notre Dame up on Navy, 14-6 ABC. Illinois out early on ESPN2. And Vanderbilt, Kentucky on the SEC Network. Vandy up 7-6 early on. And that one, fun noon window as we kick off Week 11 here on the ESPN Networks.
Start of what should be a wild day, all capped with TCU and Texas. Sam Pittman made the decision yesterday to be Malik Hornsby at quarterback. There's Hornsby on 1st down. As Hornsby escapes And it doesn't take much for Hornsby to hit that accelerator and have 10 yards in a chunk.
Man, I tell you what, I mean, when he goes and he revs his engine, it is so impressive. And you can see the pass rush, just a little bit of over pursuit. And there's plenty of space out to the right-hand side. And Greg Penn, the big linebacker, can't chase him down.
Sanders wrapped up that time as he was brought down by Joe Fouché, who, of course, was a star defensive back here at Arkansas before transferring to LSU.
Very nice tackle in the open field by Fouché. If he doesn't make that one, Rocket Sanders is going to have plenty of room to work around the right side.
Second and 7. Green tackled right near the line of scrimmage by Mekhi Garner.
This is very nicely done here. Great call by Matt House, a little corner cat. So you can see that safety is about 5 yards off the hash, which is a dead giveaway with the pressed corner. And obviously Garner, big physical corner at 220 pounds. He stuns the Arkansas running back in the backfield.
Hornsby facing a 3rd and 7. They're 1 of 4 on 3rd down. Hornsby, Perkins, ball is out. Perkins stripped it, and now it's a fight for it. And it's still going down, and LSU recovers. So you think about the speed of Malik Hornsby, and then you realize it's number 40 who's chasing him, one of the fastest young breakout stars in the sport, Harold Perkins. B.J. Ojulari recovered it.
Wow. I mean, Malik Hornsby is track star fast.
Yes.
I mean, Olympic speed. And look at how quickly number 40 Perkins chases him down. That is unbelievable. This guy's unbelievable. He doesn't, you talk to the staff, they're like, we don't even know, this guy doesn't even know what he's doing yet. Imagine he's just relying exclusively on physical ability. I mean, he's the next in line. As Hornsby's got to tuck that ball in a little bit tighter, only had one hand on it there in the middle of his, as he was getting ready to get the contact. But Perkins, man, just an absolute freak, showing it off right there.
And now the best starting field position for LSU. 37-yard line after the turnover. Daniels. He's going to tuck and run. Gets past Sanders, and Daniels with a big gainer after the spin inside the 20.
That was a great job by Daniels, too. I mean, kind of getting out in the open field really for the first time. As you can see, Perkins, who gave the ball to his offense really for the first time today, in decent field position.
20-yard run by Jaden Daniels. And Williams powers his way to the 11. But you bring up Harold Perkins, Katie. He is a blossoming star.
Well, Matt House said he looks like a video game out there with the speed that he shows. But what's crazy is he's only scratching the surface. House said when he learns to play the linebacker position, watch out. That's got to tell you something about the kid's instincts.
He's unbelievable, Katie. I mean, just sheer athleticism. And when he gets a good understanding of all the nuances that you're going to have playing the position, he's going to be an unstoppable force.
2nd and 5. Tipped before it gets to the end zone to Kayshon Boutte.
And great job there by Hudson Clark, who read that RPO perfectly and went vertical to get a piece of it. Excellent read there of the former walk-on. Got a good matchup with Cole Taylor here in the slot. Keep an eye on him.
3rd and 5. Daniels swarmed and thrown back. That was Eric Gregory who disrupted things, and already the 4th sack for Arkansas.
And this is just a tremendous game around. Watch Gregory. Little penetration up front. It buys the right guard, Bradford, who slides down to get it. And then Gregory comes right around Bradford and is basically unblocked en route to the quarterback. Just a really nice game in the front there by Arkansas's defensive line.
Damien Ramos comes out last week. He gave LSU a fourth quarter lead against Bama with a pressure kick. This from 38. And with that effort, it's all tied up. Good field position matters. LSU got it, came away with 3.
Teaming up to remind fans to get an updated COVID-19 booster shot.
First and goal. KJ's going to run it again. Diving, fumbles the ball. Fumbles the ball, and Chappelle's got it. Tyreek Chappelle in the right spot as he hands it off to Richardson. Here he goes. Wow! Can you believe this? Touchdown in the most unexpected way possible. If that doesn't happen, Arkansas would have been up 2 touchdowns on A&M. Perhaps they would have been 4-0 hosting Bama. Instead, that ended up being the first of 3 straight losses. Those real things in the season.
It's been really a season that has unjustifiable inconsistencies with Arkansas. It's almost quarter to quarter. You almost don't know what you're going to get, but they've been close so many times.
It's a knuckler that does go out of bounds as Dibert put it out at the 2-yard line, so the flag comes there. And then you come here to a spot today when last week you lose to Liberty, when last week LSU is on top of the world, and your starting quarterback KJ Jefferson, with the bad bruising he's been dealing with, can't go. Of course, and they're trying to be bowl eligible.
Yeah, they got to have it, of course, next week against Ole Miss and on the road at Missouri. But this is a good football team. It's just they don't play like it all the time. It's just been very, very much a roller coaster here in Sam Pittman's 3rd season. So would love to see them finish with a bang and play their best football for 60 minutes, because I'm not sure we've seen it all year long.
Hornsby with a blocker in front. Patiently waited for it just to get those extra 4 yards. Malik Hornsby, redshirt sophomore, who Sam Pittman says, listen, you can watch him in practice sometimes and you'll shake your head, but he's had a good solid 2 weeks of practice leading up to this.
Yeah, and speaking of inconsistencies, they say with him, I mean, he's going to have some unbelievable moments. He's also going to have some moments that leave you scratching your head, but that's all part of the maturation process for a young player.
Here's DeBinion on 2nd and 2, as he should have the line to gain. He does first down for the Hogs. DeBinion again. Ojulari was there to meet him. Ojulari last week was all over Bryce Young from Alabama. Had a sack, couple hurries. TFL, 11 total tackles in a win against Alabama.
And he's had some really great moments this year. I mean, the best example maybe at Auburn, where they were in a deep hole until he flipped that game on its head.
That was the play of the game. Sparked things in that comeback win. Stevens gets the ball as the flag is down. He had the strip sack fumble.
Illegal shift. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
Let's tell you what you're in store for on Sunday NFL Countdown tomorrow. You're going inside the Cowboys exclusive number 88 club and one-on-one with Stephon Diggs, the Bills receiver. 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN. Monday Night Football will be Washington and Philly. That gets going 8 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. And Monday Night Countdown always gets you started at 6. Second and 13. Hornsby, incomplete. He was looking for Trey Knox, his big tight end.
And just off target here for Hornsby. He's got Knox wide open. flips his hips, but you see the ball just kind of came out a little odd, and he didn't quite lead the intended wide receiver who had lots of green grass out in front of him. And those are the throws, I mean, you got to make those throws. And it's one that, you know, Hornsby would love to have back. If I'm LSU and I'm Matt House, I'm definitely having a couple linebackers, both Baskerville and Harold Perkins in the ball game. I'm watching quarterback run. I'm spying Hornsby with those two defensive players.
You have to. That's how dangerous he is with his feet. Timeout, Arkansas facing a 3rd and 13 when we come back to Fayetteville.
I'm the team mascot, and boy, am I running late.
Classic begins Tuesday at 7 on ESPN.
ESPN College Football, presented by Marathon, is brought to you by Goodyear. Discover the possibilities. Goodyear, more driven.
Stay weekend as we celebrate those who have served all weekend long. I know you're so proud of your grandfather for his service to our country, Rick.
Absolutely. Retired Air Force pilot. Career Air Force pilot. So proud of Grandpa Jim, that's for sure.
3rd and 13 off the timeout. Hornsby back to pass. Now he's going to tuck and run, try to do it with his legs, and he is torn down again by Harold Perkins. You cannot stop with Harold Perkins, how dynamic and explosive he is. Week after week you see it.
It's ridiculous. I mean, he's a cheat code, man. That's what he is. I mean, it's like when you were playing and you type something in and your guy's all of a sudden 99 speed and everyone else is like 75 speed. I mean, he tracks it down so quickly and he reads and triggers so quickly as well. I mean, he's just an unstoppable force at times. He can take over any game he's playing in.
Reed Bauer on to punt. Goes out of bounds, and Jaden Daniels will come on out. And, you know, we've been tracking Jaden Daniels this year, and you look at his QBR, the game at Auburn, they had a rally. You know what happened against Tennessee. But the past 3 weeks with the cohesive play with his receivers, look at this.
I mean, he has really grown, and you could tell, too, it all clicked against Florida. It's almost like the Tennessee game kind of jump-started him in the second half of the season because they threw it so well in the Tennessee game. Obviously, they didn't have a ton of points to score. They didn't have a ton to show for it, and the game wasn't competitive, but he got into a really nice rhythm there in the second half of that football game, and it's really carried over down the stretch.
Emery. Good run by John Emery. Pass midfield. Ball came out at the very end. Are they going to rule him down? I believe they are at the 40-yard line, yes. He was down, and then it popped out at the end of the play, as Hudson Clark was right there.
Let's take a look. Hudson Clark's draped. Where's that knee? Knee's down right there, and it looks like that's a good call by the official. You saw the knee down, and you see the ball pop out. The official all over it, that left knee hitting before the ball's dislodged.
32-yard run by John Emery. Daniels on first down. Spins back and is sacked yet again. That is now 6 sacks for Arkansas. Zach Williams and Terry Hampton bringing down Daniels.
And this is all just right around the true freshman, Will Campbell. Done a really nice job all year long, but just that long arm right into the chest of Campbell, who's just driven back. Of course, Zach Williams providing the pressure, and Emery on the other side getting a little pressure as well, but Jaden Daniels just couldn't escape.
Loss of 12. Daniels facing a 3-man front this time as he goes to Kayshon Boutte. You know, it's interesting because the rap on Kayshon early on, he came in, preseason All-American. They got off to such a slow start, a lot of finger pointing. But you talk to him, everybody around the staff lately, they say he's been the hardest worker in practice in this.
Yeah, he's really come on, and that's really great to hear, too. I mean, it wasn't going his way, It's been real easy to hang your head, and he was kind of getting beat up a little bit, really starting from the first game, but has really re-engaged and has been a difference maker down the stretch.
12-yard reception, now 3rd and 10. They drop 8 against Daniels. Daniels checks down to Williams, and Williams will get it just a yard short of that line to gain as Drew Sanders tackled him.
A great job by Jaden Daniels getting through his progression. No doubt going for it here. You almost went for it your own 24. You know the analytics books going to support going for it here as well. Watch Jaden Daniels potentially pulling on his own read here. If Arkansas is all out against the running back dive, he could pull it and pick up the first down with his legs.
Here's 4th down. And Williams bruising and battering, including the umpire even getting some. A first down for LSU. As the ump fortunately gets up and is fine.
Kind of an odd play defensively there by Arkansas. I think they had some miscommunication because they had a couple of defensive linemen that were really out of position. Look here, I mean, you see guys kind of play it up over here, and there's nothing just right up the gap where Williams hits it. I think they thought a twist was being called, and there was no one that arrived. So a little miscommunication between the linebackers and the defensive line there for the Razorbacks on the critical 4th down.
Russ Pulley is the umpire on this SEC crew, and he'll tell you sometimes it's not easy when you're right in the middle of it all. Noah Kane this time takes it down to the 16-yard line.
Mike Denbrock, the offensive coordinator, same exact recipe, rinse and repeat. I'd go right back to that exact same play.
Kane again, and he does for a first down. So it'll be first down LSU.
Well, they have something they like right now with that formation. They have really everybody to the field. 3 receivers, a tight end, everybody to that left-hand side, and Arkansas doesn't have the numbers on that side, so I can understand why they continue to go back to it. Here it is again, this time with 2 tight ends in the ball game, but everybody to the field.
This time able to stack that front a bit, hold them at 2 yards.
We used to call this an overload formation, where you have an open-ended tackle to the other side. Is not an eligible receiver, so everything has to be with all the receiver strength to the other side. It gives defenses some fits with their alignments, and clearly Denbrock liked what he saw there for the last few snaps.
Josh Williams comes back in at running back on 2nd and 8. And Williams is met. Good job defensively by Arkansas up front. As Bumper Pool was in the midst of it on Williams. It'll be 3rd down.
Bumper Pool coming out of the game after that big hit. That time Barry Odom really choosing to kind of bring the heat, almost an all-out pressure type of look there from Arkansas. And LSU ran right into that heat. They get that same look. You got to adjust to a max protection and see if you can't take advantage of a secondary that has certainly struggled at times this year.
3rd down and 8. Daniels. He is met at the 7-yard line as Chris Paul and Hudson Clark converge on Jaden Daniels.
Looks like Arkansas might call a timeout here, it looks like. See if they can't preserve a little clock. See if they can't put a 2-minute drive together.
Minute 47 to play before half. All tied up at 3s for now.
Jake from State Farm. I really want that personal price plan.
We call it Hulu plus Live TV plus plus plus.
You're saying 3 pluses, that's what you're saying? That's dumb, but we're gonna go with it.
ESPN College Football presented by Marathon. Part of Veterans Week on ESPN, brought to you by USAA. We have dueling field goals on the scoreboard as it stands right now. And the offense is running out for LSU on 4th down. 4th and 4 from the Arkansas 6-yard line. And a timeout will be used by Arkansas, and that gives us the chance to check in with Matt Berry.
Oh, we got a busy halftime report coming up on the Lexus halftime report. Tennessee trying to bounce back in this one after the loss to Georgia. We'll have highlights of them. Plus Ohio State. It's kind of a name your number day. It's snowy, it's wet against Indiana. We'll show you highlights. Plus the catch of the day, maybe the year in Notre Dame Navy. Dan Mullen, Joey Galloway. Join me coming up on the Lexus halftime report.
Look forward to that. Just took a quick glance. C.J. Stroud already a couple of touchdown passes for Ohio State. Sam Pittman said, man, they're going for it on 4th down. Hold on. We need to call a timeout.
Run, go! Love Sam Pittman, man. Just one of the great personalities in the sport. But I understand why you go for it here a little bit, because given the situation, you're putting a backup quarterback in the ballgame with no timeouts, backed up, potentially even if you're stopped. So I kind of understand it, but man, this is still super aggressive from LSU.
4th and 4. And you could see the movement, both on the left side and as well as Josh Williams.
False start. Offense, number 7. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
5 penalties on LSU. And some people would say, well, this is sort of what a first half looks like after that all-time classic overtime thriller against Alabama. You hit the road. There was ice and snow on the field just 2 hours ago.
It's what you'd say if you hadn't watched LSU this year, but it's like, this is actually a decent start for them. I mean, it's wild, man. This has been just a notoriously slow starting football team all year long.
Ramos hit from 38 earlier. This is a 29-yard attempt. And with that, he gives the Tigers the lead.
I'll tell you what, Sam Pittman might be disappointed with what his offense is doing, but I'll tell you what, man, this defense is making life very difficult for Jaden Daniels. They're layering their pressures, and they're really forcing him to get off the spot. There he is, moving just a little bit to his right, and they rally. It's been time and time and time again. Here's another movement, really nicely done around the edge by Eric Gregory in a fantastic design. And this time it's a 3-man rush. I mean, you see the big body there, Terry Hampton, just eating it up in the middle, and then him rushing and trying to roll out around Zach Williams. This Arkansas defense, and Barry Odom's got to be thrilled with what he's seen so far.
Officially, they're listing as 5 sacks, and that is the most by an SEC team in a half this season.
And they really haven't, and this has been a team too, I mean, early in the year, it was like, goodness gracious, these guys are unblockable. They haven't been as good the last few games as far as affecting the opposing quarterback, but they've done a really nice job of mixing some of their looks and causing some indecision from Jaden Daniels, especially as he tries to tuck and run.
Test, Greg, 2 years ago when Arkansas went to Missouri, Felipe Franks was dealing with a rib injury and was a late scratch. KJ Jefferson was thrown into the fire, and if you remember, Franks was a great teammate that day. He helped Jefferson as much as he could from the sidelines. Pittman said he challenged Jefferson to pay it forward to do the same for Hornsby today. He's been right by his side all afternoon, even helping keeping the guy warm.
Yeah, it's amazing. And that's obviously, it goes to show you what kind of guy KJ Jefferson is and the relationship they have in that room. If you talk to Kendall Briles, I mean, he tells you, man, we have a really strong room. You have great leadership that you get from KJ Jefferson, but he also feels really, really good about the future that Malik Hornsby has. And they like Cade Fortin as well, who's serving as the backup today.
Rocket Sanders out to the 30-yard line. And Hornsby's had some fork-in-the-road decisions to make in his career. It was thought that maybe he was going to enter the transfer portal last year. Jefferson chimes in. Everybody encourages him to stay. There was a thought that perhaps he was going to have a move to wide receiver. There was discussion with Sam Pittman. He's like, no, I want to be a quarterback fully, and this is the path that he wants to take. And now he gets his opportunity in this game against the number 7 team in the country.
Yeah, it's obviously a great defense you're playing and a great scheme. I agree with Arkansas here, opting to just kind of take it to the half. No need to put any additional stress on Malik Hornsby. You've played well. It's a 3-point ball game. You get the ball coming out at half as well. So if I'm Arkansas, just conservatively see if you can't put this thing on ice. But LSU is going to burn a timeout because they might have a chance now to get the ball back and steal some points as well.
Weekend Wake Up is brought to you by Wendy's Breakfast. You see what lies ahead coming up on ABC and ESPN at 3:30. And then tonight, it is Georgia, number 1 team in the country, against Mississippi State, and on ABC, TCU and Texas. Where will your eyes be, Greg?
Well, I'm going to have about 4 screens going. I can promise you that. That's standard for operation for a Saturday. I think Texas gets it done tonight. I really do. I know that TCU is flashy. I know TCU is a resilient bunch that has found a way to claw their way back into games. But I think Texas is, if not the most physical team they've played, their second most physical team that they've played. Kansas State would be the other that'd be in the mix, and Kansas State had them on the ropes, and if not for an injury to not 1 but 2 quarterbacks, TCU might have come up short in that ball game.
Hornsby on 3rd and 1 will take it ahead, tackled by Greg Penn.
Now it looks like Razorbacks might try to go with a little bit of tempo, see if they can't rip off a big play.
Well, that's the see if you get a first down, see what happens, and then you take a strike, and that was batted away at the last second as he was looking for Jackson. Greg Brooks, I think he got a piece of it as he was charging over, former Arkansas Hawk.
That was well read. It was really well read by Greg Brooks. They tried to go with a little pump route, and not one that they were taking the bait on. He's lucky that that ball, if that ball was on target, that thing's probably intercepted, but it was a little off the mark.
Hornsby gonna pull it, and he was tackled and brought down by Major Burns, who has missed some time with an injury this year, but he's really their big communicator in the back end. Third and 3. Hornsby. And he just got it away as Ojolari was tearing him down.
And I don't really understand that thought process right there. I mean, I understand trying to be aggressive, but now you have to punt it. And, you know, crazy things happen in a punt situation. Obviously, LSU, I mean, traditionally, you'd be in a punt safe right here, knowing that you could potentially get a fake. Maybe that's what they go with, too. Probably safer to go with the punt safe, but could come after it as well. Yeah, punt safe, it looks like, for LSU.
That's what they're in. As Bauer will drive it through the end zone. This season, All-State will celebrate every field goal and extra point made by participating in universities by making a donation to their general scholarship fund. We thank All-State for that. 6-3 here in Fayetteville on a day that started with an inch of snow and ice on the field, and a day that LSU hopes ends with clinching the SEC West. They can do that with a win here at Arkansas and an Alabama win at Ole Miss.
What a year, of course, for LSU, and in particular for Brian Kelly. I mean, just taking the SEC by storm, and there's not many teams in college football that have improved more from week 1 to where LSU currently is. I mean, just a masterful job of coaching by that entire staff.
This is a first half that had a whopping 53 combined passing yards, Greg. 53 passing yards.
There might have been more sack yards than passing yards, I think. I don't know.
Hey, well, I'll tally that for you.
But either way, both defenses came to play. LSU's been an excellent second-half football team, so it'll be big for Arkansas to make some quality adjustments, see if they can't come out and start fast in the second half.
5 sacks by Arkansas's defense in that first half. Katie?
Thanks, Tess. Coach Kelly, we've seen penalties, turnovers, pressure. What did you think of your offense's start?
That's about what I saw, too. Yeah, energy's not very good on offense. I think defensively we're doing a nice job of taking the ball away. Mistakes. We got to do a better job. We got to get in here and have a conversation about how we come out in the second half. We have to play much better on the offensive side of the ball.
Thank you.
Says the energy is not good on offense. 142 total yards and just 6 points. 6-3. Number 7 LSU on top. Let's head to the halftime report with Matt, Joey, and Dan.
Interesting first half for you, Joe Tess, as we welcome you into the Lexus halftime report. We're going to keep it SEC. Start off with Tennessee, dropped to 5th in the playoff rankings this week after losing to Georgia. Quick start after Jabari Small 7-0 Vols.
It's been the run game, getting this Tennessee offense going early in this game.
But look, we've seen Missouri be a tough out for some teams, namely Georgia. Here, Brady Cook to Luther Burden.
Great job getting to the edge. The defense got to turn them back inside.
Ties it at 7 apiece, and then same as it ever was here. Hooker over the middle, Jalen Hyatt. Hooker would eventually score there, 14-7. Here, Hooker to Princeton Fant, 21-7 Tennessee.
Hooker already near 200 yards for the first half passing the football.
But here comes Missouri. I talked about them being a tough out on 4th and goal, or 4th and 1 rather. Brady Cook play fake to Toski Dove. Texas bad defense.
Takes the shot for the one aggressive, but 2 Tennessee players got to go play the ball.
Hooker has gone in to score 28-14 just now, so Tennessee kind of in a back and forth thing. See if they can't stop them on defense. Ohio State, name your number day. Finally, Big Ten weather. It's wet, it's snowy, it's Columbus, and it's Dallin Hayden. Apparently, Ohio State's got running backs everywhere.
Yeah, Travion Henderson out once again for Ohio State in that backfield. They just keep rolling good guys in that can run the football.
Remember that stat day they didn't get last week against Northwest? I think C.J. Stroud, Marvin Harrison Jr. making up for that.
Yeah, no safety to be found for Indiana right there. Easy pitch and catch.
Story, though, in this one, 21-0. Here, Mayan Williams is going to take it 28-7. This isn't the story because we knew Mayan was going to have a good day. Story is he just left the game injured with help off from the trainers, couldn't walk on his right foot.
He had 140 yards already in this game, and I'm sure Ohio State is trying to establish the run in this game.
In fact, here's that injury I'm talking about right there. The right ankle, you see it pop back. He was unable to walk off under his own power. You see him carrying there. Again, Travion Henderson already out today, so we'll keep you updated on the Mayan Williams situation. 28-7 Buckeyes. Not going to factor into today's final score, but still something to watch throughout the season. Veterans Day weekend. Again, our thanks to all of our servicemen and women across the country. Notre Dame and Navy in this one. Braden Lenzy, the catch of the year from Drew Pine.
Well, the hand-eye coordination, the concentration, catches it behind his back, and then
look at this.
Rips it away with the one hand so the DB can't knock it out.
Look, Navy, sometimes that offense could give you fits, although Notre Dame should be used to it. They play him every year as Lenzy celebrating what should be on college football final tonight is our top play here. Xavier Arline takes it in 21-13 at this point.
I don't know if you can get used to this. So many options of guys to get the ball to, and they're doing really well running it early.
35-13 again. Notre Dame doesn't lose to Marshall and Stanford. What if? Dan Mullen, Joey Galloway, Matt Berry, Lexus halftime report. All right, so Vegas tends to know things that none of us do. And this Arkansas-LSU game was one of them because they only had it at a 3.5-point spread. All of this to say they thought it was going to be close. Here we have a field goal game at the half.
Well, they're getting after Jaden Daniels. They sacked him 5 times. They're playing a lot of coverage, getting him different looks. But I think the toughest thing in college football, LSU is coming off of a huge win against Alabama. And now you're on the road against Arkansas. It's tough to get these young kids up game after game after a big win like that, Coach. I can't imagine now going on the road. Arkansas, it's cold,
icy,
which you're not expecting.
Yeah.
You have to get your team up. They look sluggish on offense.
Yeah, and it is hard to get everybody going. The excitement. These are young kids that have been told how great they are all week. You control your own destiny. Hey, Arkansas is down. But I'll tell you what, the recipe of what Arkansas has, which is, hey, we're going to keep Jaden Daniels in the pocket. And we're going to force him to win. Don't take away scramble lanes, take away runs, mix up some coverages and see if he can beat you from the pocket, which it doesn't look like he can.
No KJ Jefferson late in this one, so you're thinking maybe that's the advantage LSU needed, but 6-3 at the half. This is going to be a fun one to watch the rest of the way here on ESPN. You know it wasn't fun, at least for Brennan Armstrong? The first 2 throws of the game today against Pitt. We'll explain and we'll show coming up next on the Lexus Halftime Report.
College football is delivered by Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Honesty.
ESPN Veterans Week is brought to you by USAA. This Veterans Day, we invite you to honor all who serve with a simple act to show your thanks. See how at usaa.com/Veterans Day.
You know, Illinois is still in control of their own destiny in the Big Ten West. In case you just wanted a shot of Chase Brown and some graphics attached to it, there you go. 15-yard run here for Brown.
Well, it's a good idea. You give Chase Brown the ball, leads the Big Ten in rushing right there. He's a playmaker. He's going to try to get his another 100-yard game.
So Illinois' 2 losses this year, Joe, Michigan State and Indiana. When they're good, they're good. When they're bad, they well.
Yeah, and that's 2 teams they would like to take back. And it's a 7-2 Illinois team that you mentioned controls their own destiny in the West, even with those 2 bad losses.
So Maccabee takes it in for Purdue. That makes it 7 apiece. Chase Brown, same as it ever was. Right now tied at 14 on ESPN2. All right, so Liberty beats Arkansas last week on the road.
Yep.
They're here in town at the Rent, and no one just rolls into the Rensselaer and walks out with a win.
Don't mess with Jim Mora.
Mitchell, scoop and score.
We had a lot of fun with UConn. They're having one heck of a season.
Is Jim Mora the lock for Coach of the Year right now?
It's close.
Let's go bowling.
You want to?
Let's get bowling first.
Hey, all right, so first pass of the game. Brennan Armstrong, pick 6.
All right.
MJ Darrell.
Shake it off.
Shake it off.
Early theme developing.
Shake it off.
Second throw of the game.
Later.
This is the second throw of the game. Up.
Look at the clock.
Pick 6.
And at this point, if you're Virginia and your coaching staff, your players, you're thinking, can we go back in the locker room?
Run it out. We've done enough. Splash some water in your face. Let's run out of the tunnel again.
Carolina gave up 28 points to Virginia last week.
We've heard that somewhere
Did you
before.
know that happened? Did you know KJ Jefferson isn't playing today, which makes this game a little bit closer than maybe a lot of people thought? 6-3 Tigers.
This halftime report is presented by Lexus. Experience amazing.
Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road.
Dream on. You're watching the Lexus Halftime Report.
Matt, Joey, Dan Mullen back with you. Kentucky and Vanderbilt today. Is this the day Vanderbilt's SEC losing streak is snapped? They look good in this one. Mike Wright, 59 yards.
And earlier on, Vandy has more offensive yards than Kentucky. They look like the better football team.
What in the world of John Calipari's going on at Kentucky?
Special teams get the field goal block right here. Huge play. To hold on to the lead at halftime for Vandy. They're feeling it.
Keep an eye on it. Not calling for the upset. Let's take a look at our weekend menu brought to you by Jimmy Dean. Give me something here, starting with you, Joe.
Looking forward to TCU, Texas. 2 teams. TCU likes to come back, and Texas like to give away a lead.
The UCF Tulane game's a really
fun,
an interesting little game for the top of the AAC.
54.5 is the over.
By
Let's
the
go.
way, Louisville, Clemson. I'm not saying. I'm just saying. Keep an eye on which Louisville team shows up. More coming up in the Lexus Halftime Report.
And here come your Fighting Tigers of LSU.
This halftime report is presented by Lexus. Experience amazing.
Coach, key to the second half for LSU.
Well, they got to get Jaden Daniels settled down. Find some easy completions for him. The looks that Arkansas is creating are confusing him, leading to these sacks.
It's all field goals back to Fayetteville for the second half.
Before we begin, I'd like to thank our sponsor, Liberty.
And new Highlanders with low 3.49% financing. That's 3.49%. We do business the right way, your way, every day.
Watching Veterans Week coverage on ESPN, brought to you by USAA.
ESPN College Football presented by Marathon. Arkansas struck first with a field goal, and LSU added 2. So you sit back, you look at the stat line, and Jaden Daniels has 38 yards passing right now. Ryan Kelly earlier said there just wasn't any energy offensively.
Yeah, there was really no boot. They tried. I mean, they tried, I think, their first drive, tried to get into a bit of a rhythm, went with a little tempo, and it ended with an interception. And then they just were just a little sloppy, a little hesitant. and playing a little conservative as well, knowing that they're going up against a backup quarterback for the Hogs.
It's Malik Hornsby, as they will get the ball to start this second half. This is a dribbler that then eventually goes into the end zone. Moments ago, Katie caught up with Coach Pittman.
Coach Pittman, your defense has been tremendous. What do you need to do to get this offense kick-started?
Well, I mean, we need to throw the football, but Malik's got to let it go. I mean, we're waiting for the guy to come wide open. We know what the route is. We got to throw the ball faster. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to hold up, not be able to protect it that long. Got to find a way to run the football. We got to move the back a little bit, do some things that right now they're blitzing away from the back, and we've got to do some things to make that happen where we're moving the back and they don't know which way he's going. So I think we're in good shape. We got the ball and we'll see what happens.
Thanks for the time.
All right.
And this is how they start the second half with just a 1-yard gain. As Sanders had the carry, he says we got to just let it go sometimes with Malik. Just 2 completions for 15 yards in that first half.
Yeah, they didn't really try much either. I mean, they tried maybe a time or two to get one downfield, but they got to kind of cut him loose. But if you also talk to their staff, they say, well, he's an accurate thrower, but he's got to kind of work his way into becoming an accurate thrower. Need some short, easy ones to get some confidence before you can rip it downfield.
They go with the screen here to Hazelwood, and Hazelwood was met that time by Greg Brooks.
That's the short completion I'm referring to. I mean, get him started. Let him see one go into the receiver's hands so he can get a little bit more confident. I think that was a good play call to kind of get your quarterback feeling a little decent about his arm here in the second half of the football game.
3rd down and 5. Hornsby steps up in the pocket, able to escape. And you know when he does that, it's going to be good yardage for Arkansas, and that moves the chains out to the 40-yard line.
And it looked like they had him bottled up. It looked like Baskerville, number 23, was in a perfect position, but just hesitated. And because he hesitated, Hornsby was able to escape to the right-hand side. Good job there by the quarterback.
He got caught up in the traffic, did Baskerville, the linebacker. A.J. Green, good run now for the Hogs as he's out to midfield for another Arkansas first down.
It's a good start so far from Arkansas. Now they can get into some of their tempo and see if they can't ramp it up. Got good numbers on the right side to run it if they want it, though.
Green tackled right at the line of scrimmage by Ojulari. He has had a very strong day.
And the numbers were great on the right-hand side, but unfortunately, Ojulari's there working against Tykees Crawford, the backup right tackle. Of course, Dalton Wagner has been a mainstay at right tackle for quite a while. He's out today, and Ojulari gets the best of the backup right there.
2nd and 10. Hornsby torn down and sacked by Harold Perkins, the 5-star recruit who has been making an instant impact this year.
And right there, I mean, number 7, Trey Knox, the converted wide receiver to tight end, just really has no chance. I mean, he's working in one-on-one and just trying to create a little bit of a pocket, but the receiver ain't going to block the pass rusher. Not going to happen, especially when the pass rusher's Harold Perkins. He's unbelievable.
I can't even imagine what he's going to be like in the coming years.
Sometimes you just watch guys and they're just different.
You know?
Like they look like
yes,
they're playing a different sport. And that's what Perkins is, man. I mean, he's just ridiculous.
He's just faster than everybody else. 3rd and 18. Hornsby, look at he's being chased by him again. It is incredible what Harold Perkins can do. And Hornsby has elite speed. He anchored the fastest 4x100 relay in high school in the country. Think about that.
I mean, this is just, hey, you're going to spy him. 40, you got 4. And he's just watching the whole way. And look at him. As soon as Hornsby commits to running the football and break and contain, Perkins goes. I mean, that is just ridiculous. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it.
Clayton calls for the fair catch at the 11-yard line. Harold Perkins, last week he did it against Bryce Young, had 3 quarterback hurries and a sack. Third sack for Perkins here. Hornsby has been seeing far too much of number 40.
Yeah. You better bust that if you busting the timing for you. Michael Chandler.
Little Woo Pig in the Taco Bell Live Más student section. Student sections across the country competing to be the Live Más student section of the year all season long. Great college town is Fayetteville. You can eat well in this town too. How about last night? You actually turned to a waitress last night at dinner and said, "What's the most fattening thing on the menu?"
Yes.
The answers, and give me that.
Perfect. That's what I want. Double order.
Jaden Daniels on first down. Able to get past Drew Sanders and then scoot ahead to the 13-yard line.
See, LSU, we've talked about it many, many times. 7th time this season they've had less than 150, and of course 5 of those 7 coming in the first half of football games. But to Brian Kelly's credit and his staff, they've done a really nice job at halftime making the appropriate adjustments, and they've been a much better team in the final 30 minutes than they are in the first 30.
Williams can't find much there as he was torn down that time by Drew Sanders, and Nico Davalier also got involved.
Big down here for the Arkansas defense. Make some adjustments at halftime. First drive of the second half. If you could force LSU into a 3-and-out, that goes a long way in creating a lot of positivity on your sideline.
Third and 7. Daniels had a man in his face, and it's incomplete. He was looking for Neighbors, and they are just 2 for 8 on third down.
Tell you what, it's a pretty good throw by Jaden Daniels. Had some pressure in his face, had to get his arm way up high over the top, and it's right on the money. Neighbors just can't reel it in. Uncharacteristic drop there from the usually reliable Neighbors.
See Stevens lining up at the 40-yard line as Bramblett has his heels on the goal line to punt away. His third punt of the afternoon. It's a sky punt that he turns over and drives back to the 34-yard line. Excellent coverage downfield as Stevens was taken down right away by Jenkins. Let's look at today's road test brought to you by Goodyear.
Malik Hornsby and Harold Perkins are going to exchange Christmas cards. They've spent so much time together. It's unbelievable. I mean, Perkins has been spying him all day long. And as soon as Hornsby, who, remember, has Olympic speed. I mean, this guy is ridiculous in the 100-yard dash, one of the fastest guys in college football. It hasn't mattered against the linebacker, the freshman linebacker, as he's tracked him down time and time and time again. As you can see, Hornsby with a nice shade of green on the back of his jersey, just getting in the Christmas spirit.
Well, the defenses today have combined for 11 TFLs and 8 sacks, and Harold Perkins has 3 on his own. Hornsby, as that was a forward pass, incomplete. Greg Penn was crashing in on Malik Hornsby.
And Sam Pittman at halftime told Katie's that Malik Hornsby's just got to cut it loose. And that was a good example right there. The receiver took a little bit longer than you might expect to run his little hitch route on the RPO, but you got to anticipate that. You can't wait for him to turn around, show you the numbers. You got to throw it before he turns. And right now, Kendall Briles' quarterback's just not trusting what he's seeing.
He's going to run it here on 2nd and 10. He trusts his legs always, as he was just tripped up by Fouché, his former teammate. Spent the last 4 years here at Arkansas. Had 231 tackles when he was playing here in Fayetteville.
Potential 2-down territory here for Arkansas as well.
3rd and 1. They go with the up back, and that is Sanders, who will have the first down.
Is it Kendall Briles? I think you got to continue with some of that misdirection. I mean, right now, the passing game is just not there for you. You can probably take a shot downfield at some point. I would definitely encourage that, at least just to keep LSU honest. Even if it's a long foul ball, at least they're now thinking about it. But the misdirection run game has to be huge and take advantage of the athleticism that LSU has at the second level defensively.
Sanders, tackled by Garner. Reminder, Saturday Night Football is presented by Capital One. It's a good one. Number 4 TCU, number 18 Texas. Coverage of the game is at 7:30 on ABC. TCU's been interesting to watch this year. It seems like all their games take a very similar form, and they're always there at the end, making the big plays, making comebacks. Can they do it against the Horns tonight? Hazelwood, tracked down, run down from behind by Perkins and Richardson.
Both defenses right now, man, I mean, really feeling it. It's Perkins, he sniffs out that jet sweep, tracks it down, and makes another play on the sideline.
Hazelwood on 3rd down, and he's going to be 2.5 yards shy of that line to gain as Jay Ward made the tackle.
Interesting decision here for Sam Pittman. Looks like he's going to keep his offense on the field. Now, hey, you have a athletic quarterback that's right-handed. Roll him to the right. Run a play that's similar to what LSU ran last week in the 2-point conversion.
Here's 4th down and 2. Hornsby, there it is, sprint right. And he falls down with the pressure coming in on him all the way back at the 40-yard line. Ali Gay and B.J. Ojolari were coming in like a tidal wave, and Hornsby had to take a seat.
I mean, he's rolling to his right. It's full roll. That means there's nobody on the backside protecting the backside edge. This is just Hornsby's inexperience. I mean, you have to understand, when you are in full sprint protection, that everybody on the offensive line, everybody's working to their right. And they're re-moving the launch point way to the right, in some cases all the way to the right hash. He decides to stop. There's nobody there for Ojolari on the backside, and they drop him.
Think about how field position can flip as now LSU starts at the Arkansas 40. John Emery gets the work. And ball came out at the end. You see Emery Jones holding on to it, the LSU right tackle. But it was just moments ago that Bramblett had his heels. Emery is slow to get up. Bramblett was punting with his heels on his own goal line. And then your defense does the job. You get the big play on 4th down from your defensive front. And here they are in the Arkansas 35-yard line. Medical staff out to see John Emery, and with that, we'll take a quick timeout.
Only at your Southern Quality Ford dealer.
ESPN College Football, presented by Marathon, is brought to you by USAA. This Veterans Day, join us in celebrating all those who serve.
Veterans Day weekend as we continue to salute America's heroes for their incredible sacrifice and their service to our country, as you look at some of the brave soldiers sporting their support for the Hogs. So all the great LSU fans among those in the armed forces. And now we get a good look at the Arkansas. 2nd and 6. Williams going to be 3rd and about 3 from there as Brini made the tackle.
2 downs to get it here if you're LSU's offense. They're bringing in Jack Besh, number 80, and stay here in 11 personnel with just 3 wide receivers. I'm surprised here, knowing what Denbrock likes to be. I'm surprised he didn't bring in a couple tight ends and see if they can't continue to pound away at that Arkansas front. Watch for the run around the left-hand side here.
Daniels fakes the pitch and has the first down.
And this is really nicely done. You can see this counter action. They kind of fake the toss, but look at Bradford 75 get the kick out block there. Very nicely done. Basically quarterback power, but they give you a little eye candy to see if you can't push some of those defenders to jump leverage to the outside.
Daniels on first down. Has time to wind it up. And it is Boutte down inside the 2-yard line. Kayshon Boutte with the reception that'll make for a first and goal.
And what a route by Kayshon Boutte. My goodness.
Quick to the line. As Williams powers it in for the LSU touchdown. Our first touchdown of the day comes with 5:25 remaining in the third quarter.
Man, what a route by Kayshon Boutte. He's got inside leverage against the defender. You know how hard that is? If you're running a post against 3-yard inside leverage, you got to spin the guy around like a top. That's exactly what he does. Gave a slight sell to the outside on the corner and then broke it back across his face. Just an unbelievably smooth route there from Kayshon Boutte.
Ramos adds the extra point in what was an offensively challenged game. That is our lone touchdown.
Just plowing ahead there is that LSU offensive line. As you see big number 50, Emory Jones at 340 pounds, the right tackle, just surging and escorting their back right into the end zone. Well done up front by the Tigers.
Josh Williams, touchdown run.
You know, Josh Williams started his career at LSU as a walk-on, but he never considered himself that per se because he knew deep down it was only a temporary label, guys. He said he wanted to prove to the doubters who didn't give him the stars in high school and the people who said he had no chance that he could go to LSU, earn a scholarship, and play his way onto the field. And now look at him. I mean, he's steady, he's consistent, and his presence in the backfield has been crucial this season.
Let's go to the studio, check in with Matt.
All right, second half of the noon window, Joe Tess. Here we go. Purdue, Illinois tied at 14 apiece on ESPN2. Notre Dame, as expected, separating from Navy. Keep an eye on the lower left. Vanderbilt, 26 in a row lost in the SEC. They're up on Kentucky. And South Florida, they fired their coach earlier in the week, Jeff Scott. They are tied with SMU. That on ESPNU.
A lot of good action throughout the day. Be great action coming up a little later, both on ABC and ESPN. Cade Fortin now comes in at quarterback for Arkansas. Remember, KJ Jefferson couldn't go. Hornsby got the start, and now they turn to Fortin, the well-traveled redshirt senior. And Fortin will complete his first pass of the afternoon to Hazelwood.
I think this is the right move. They just haven't been able to get anything going through the air, and the offense has been, for the most part, very stagnant. So in comes Cade Fortin, a little bit more accurate, and obviously a veteran, a guy who's played a little more football than Malik Hornsby.
2nd and 5 as he gets it out of the backfield to Sanders, and Sanders just got tripped up by West Weeks. So it'll be 3rd down. Cade Fortin started his career at North Carolina. Then he transferred to USF, started 4 games, then came to Arkansas this summer. 3rd down and 3. Fortin with time. That was batted. He tried to go over the middle, but Micah Baskerville got a hand on it. So it is a 3-and-out as they changed up the quarterbacks and went to Cade Fortin.
Yeah, very nice here by Baskerville. Just reading the quarterback's eyes. Hit it right in behind Baskerville, but he didn't look the defender off far enough. If you're the quarterback and you know you're trying to throw one right around a guy's ear hole, you got to keep your eyes to the left to see if you can't influence that defender. And that time, Fortin stared down, and Baskerville made a nice play.
Reed Bauer on to punt for the 5th time this afternoon. That thing hung up for a bit before settling in at the 29-yard line. Well, of course, the reason that LSU is in this position, sitting there at number 7, possibly able to clinch the SEC West today, is because of Mason Taylor making these 2 plays. Was the hero against Bama, the go-ahead touchdown, and then Bert, our handheld cameraman, we were with his dad, Jason, the Hall of Famer, last week, said, your son just did something special. And then 5 minutes later, Katie George, something much more special than that.
He was able to get back to the locker room and watch the final play as Mario Cristobal was speaking to the team. He said he had to run into the coach's locker room to hide his excitement so he didn't cause a distraction. And for a guy who's experienced so much success in his own career, Jason Taylor said nothing compares to the joy and pride you have when you see your child succeed like that.
No doubt about it. Josh Williams now. Look at this run by Williams, as he rips one, gashing through that Arkansas defense down to the 40-yard line, finally taken down by McAdoo.
One of the rare instances when bumper pool number 10 plays a little out of position. You see he gets slid inside and there's nobody home there in that gap right outside the right guard. And Williams finds it, man. Excellent acceleration in the open field too, and making guys miss at the 2nd and 3rd levels. So what, Josh Williams, for a guy that started his career as a walk-on, he's 100% right. He certainly doesn't run like one.
Daniels. Somebody got a piece of it up front. You know, Williams last week also had some critical plays in that big win against Bama. There was a 3rd and 7. He was plowing through a defender, set up a 1st and goal. Had a 3rd quarter touchdown run. He's a tough runner.
Yeah, he runs really, really hard. And obviously he's stocky, only about 5'8" or so, but low to the ground, and he's a powerful runner too on the initial contact.
Daniels taken down by Drew Sanders and company. Landon Jackson, former teammate for many on this LSU side.
You gotta wonder why LSU hasn't really challenged Arkansas deep. There have been situations in which there have been one-on-ones on the outside, and LSU, of course, excellent wide receiver core, but they haven't really tried any vertical shots. I mean, if I'm Mike Denbrock, I want to at least throw one up the field on a go ball against press coverage. He's got one right here, it looks like, if that safety comes down the way you think he might.
And they're thinned out in that defensive backfield as well. 3rd and 12 as the comeback was overthrown. He was looking for Malik Neighbors. Remember, Arkansas is without Miles Slusher, who starts in the defensive backfield. He was suspended this week by head coach Sam Pittman for a legal issue that occurred last weekend.
And they've played really well in the secondary. I mean, Barry Odom's got to be thrilled with what he's seen so far. As you can see, Jordan Dominic, he's limping off the field. Here's the coverage. I mean, the coverage is very good. I mean, but you have a situation there. McLaughlin, of course, the former LSU player, he's probably worked against that route a couple times, but we haven't been able to create consistent separation, have the Tigers.
Bramlett trying to pin the Hogs. Fair catch down near the 6-yard line. Bryce Stevens. Israel Adesanya is going to take on Alex Pereira tonight in UFC 281 at Madison Square Garden. Main card begins at 10 Eastern on pay-per-view. That's a good one. Adesanya and Pereira. They met up as kickboxers some years ago, and Pereira knocked him out. But as you know, Israel Adesanya is one of the best in all of UFC. That's tonight from Madison Square Garden.
Jaden Daniels looking on, trying to find some answers there for the passing game, but it might just be a run-heavy approach from LSU moving forward, given how their protection is not really held up, and they really haven't done a great job separating as well.
Remember, the new quarterback is Cade Forden. As Forden gets it to Stevens. Stevens can be effective in space, but he was tackled quickly by Baskerville.
Goal here for the offense. You got to get a first down. When you're backed up like this, that's the #1 goal. Get at least one first down, at least nothing. Your punter won't be punting from his own end zone.
A.J. Green get it out to the 14-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 2. Jaquelin Roy made the tackle on Green. Harold Perkins, 3 sacks today. One of the breakout stars in all of college football, the true freshman. 3rd down and 2. Green patiently waited for the blocks and then was able to find room on that right side for an Arkansas 1st down.
That was nicely done by Green, and a good job up front. As you can see, Bo Limmer on the right-hand side, and obviously Ricky Stromberg, the center, doing a pretty good job of creating that surge, and Green, more of a speed back. That's what he's known for, but pretty good job of being patient and letting that thing come to him.
Fortin. That's not Malik Hornsby out on the field any longer. Harold Perkins.
Results the same, though. Perkins just closes faster now than he did a moment ago. A good job there by Fortin, not trying to do too much. Don't expose yourself to the massive contact that's going to come if you try to turn around and make a throw.
Second and 10. Fortin, man in his face, and he is brought down by Savion Jones.
I mean, just a really good job here by Savion Jones, working in one-on-one against Bo Limmer, number 55. Perkins coming around the edge kind of forces Fortin to step up and move to his right, and he falls right into the pressure of Savion Jones.
4th sack for LSU this afternoon.
I would have an answer for number 40 on the left side of the screen. This guy is a nightmare.
Well, he can't sack you if we're in commercial break. That's the good news for Arkansas. It's the end of the 3rd quarter. But he has been everywhere for LSU. Harold Perkins menacing Malik Hornsby. And then Houti with the reception to set up Williams with the touchdown. And it's a 10-point LSU lead as we head to the 4th.
Clade family.
I want you to come with me on an expedition.
Just crash landed.
Where in the world are we?
In a strange world.
Will you get that off? The only place to get this deal?
Domino's. Celtics, Hawks, and Warriors, Suns. Wednesday.
You're watching the SEC on ESPN as we get in the 4th quarter here in Fayetteville. Number 17 in the country, the LSU Tigers with a 10-point lead. If they win this game, and then if Alabama wins at Ole Miss, LSU is in the SEC championship. 3rd down and 17. Fortin. That ball is complete to Landers. Could have been picked off, could have been a disaster, but Landers catches and spins, and it's a 1st down Arkansas.
Wow, that ball is hung up in the air forever as Landers running the big dig. Looked like they definitely had a little bit of miscommunication there as well. A bunch of guys running across the middle.
Fortin now goes to DeBinion, and DeBinion tackled by Perkins after just a gain of 1.
And that's the message. If I'm Sam Pittman and this Arkansas team, I'm saying, look, we're one play away from being right back in this game. I mean, it feels like an insurmountable lead, but man, I mean, all it's going to take is one person to step up and make a play, and we're back in this thing. That would be the message if I'm Sam Pittman.
That was the first play they had that went for over 20 yards. And now Fortin doing it with his feet. Matt Berry, what's going on?
I have a Tennessee update for you, Tess. They were letting Missouri hang around 28-24, then same as it ever was. Jalen Hyatt from Hendon Hooker, 68 yards, Vols 35-24 in the 3rd.
Jalen Hyatt has 146 yards in that game. I mean, he has been a stat machine as DeBinion takes it. I don't know that there's a receiver that when you just look at the stat line week after week is more impressive than Jalen Hyatt.
It's been pretty phenomenal, the season he's put together, and that offense, of course, just terrific. It's so fun to watch, with the exception of last week, of course.
Of course, it's what happens when you go up against Jalen Carter wrecking everything. 2nd and 12. Look at this in stride. It's Landers again. As Cade Fortin stood in there tough and delivered. Harold Perkins was coming in. Fortin delivered. And Landers with a 40-yard touchdown catch.
And Harold Perkins coming off the edge and just delivering a strike, but Fortin hanging in there completely unfazed. Let's take a look. Does he go out of bounds? Doesn't look like it right there. Very, very close there as Landers hugged the sideline. Just a tremendous job of winning over the top by Landers, and an unbelievable throw under duress from Cade Fortin.
Watch his feet. Does he step out at any point here?
Difficult to tell right there. Here you go, right foot, left foot. Nothing there that would indicate to me that he's out of bounds.
Nope.
Yeah, I think
he stays in.
Pretty remarkable job there, as he's working against the big physical Mekhi Garner. He just beats him right around the edge, and this play is going to stand as they leave the kicker on, and he'll get set up now to make it a 3-point game.
And you think about the decision made by Sam Pittman to say, listen, we love Malik Hornsby, but we've got to be able to do something downfield in this matchup. As little as the extra point, and they do. And it finishes with a 94-yard drive. Cade Fortin steps into this game, steps up, acts tough in the face of Harold Perkins, and delivers the touchdown strike. And we've got ourselves just a field goal game here in the 4th quarter.
Well, would you look at that?
Jerry, you got to see this. Saying it. Trust me, after 50.
Back to work. Spectrum Advanced Wi-Fi. Only available on a better kind of internet. Spectrum Internet.
40-yard touchdown to Landers will make you dance now, Greg.
Oh, absolutely. If he had the chains, I would have thought it was Kirk Cousins, but no chains, no game.
First Arkansas points since 4:48 to go in the 1st quarter. Aflac trivia question. Brian Kelly, if he gets to the SEC championship game, be the 4th head coach to do so in his 1st season. Aflac trivia question wants to know, Greg McElroy, who are the other 3?
I know 2 for sure, because they've happened in the last few years. But the 3rd one I'm not 100% sure on. That one is a little bit trickier.
You can hear this crowd right back in this game. Jaden Daniels on 1st down. As he bounces off and gains a few yards there. All right, so recent years, obviously. Go ahead, throw them out there.
Gus Malzahn in 2013
with Auburn.
And then the other would be Jim McElwain in Florida in 2015. The other, Les Miles. Okay, I was
2005.
2005, okay. So after Saban left to go to the Miami Dolphins, he stepped in and took them to the SEC championship game.
4-yard run by Daniels, 2nd and 6. They got pressure. They run right into it with Josh Williams, and the extra effort from that offensive line still pushing ahead. Out to the 37-yard line, 1st down Tigers.
Very nicely done there on the powerful run from Williams, and a great job of the LSU offensive line, following the ball and getting that surge.
LSU trying to clinch the SEC West today. If they can win here and Bama beats Ole Miss. But Arkansas has come back. Cut it to 3 as Williams takes it ahead to the 41-yard line.
LSU has gone with that formation several times today, and it's only been 2 different plays. One where they hand it off inside, the other where they fake the pitch to the outside and go with the quarterback power. So Bumper Poole tried to get that communicated quickly and wasn't able to do so in time to stop the run.
Entire left side started to drive block.
False start. Offense number 70. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Potentially big penalty there, taking them back to 2nd and 11. And this LSU offensive line, they've done a pretty good job in the run game today. But the throw game and the protection in particular has been a bit of a struggle. I mean, these are very athletic and active linebackers for Drew Sanders and Chris Paul in there at the 2nd level. They've been able to consistently create a lot of problems for Jaden Daniels in the pass rush.
Daniels on 2nd and 11, and the pressure gets to him. Chris Paul Jr. with the sack.
And it's been consistent all game long. They bring the pressure, overload. And obviously Chris Paul just told you just how active those linebackers have been and how problematic it's been in the pass protection for LSU against that speed and athleticism at the 2nd level. Sets up a very difficult 3rd and long for LSU.
Third and 20. Daniels had no chance whatsoever. Sanders was tracking him right from the start. And then Jaden Johnson cleaned it up at the end. And now Arkansas is going to be getting the ball with under 10 minutes to play, only trailing by a field goal to the number 7 team in the country. Fifth punt for Jay Bramlett, 2nd in a row. Fair catch at about the 36-yard line. Should be interesting to see how this plays out. 9:40 to go. Arkansas with the ball.
And it's fit to feed a shack-sized family.
So thankful for all our veterans, their courage and their commitment to our country. And on our crew, we saw Fred Cloud, Jonathan Dornick, 2 veterans who are with us every single week. SEC Conference Spotlight, Greg, is brought to you by T-Mobile.
As you can see, Alabama, will they bounce back? And of course, LSU fans maybe rooting for Alabama for the first time ever, because
that's right.
If Alabama knocks off Ole Miss and LSU hangs on here, then LSU officially punches their ticket to Atlanta.
Well, right now, Ole Miss fans should be rooting for Cade Fortin, who's the number 3 quarterback who has come in and sparked things for Arkansas. That is incomplete. He was looking for Hazelwood. Hit Landers on a big touchdown moments ago to pull within 3.
So far, Fortin's done a pretty good job of understanding when pressure's coming, still hanging in there and getting rid of the football. In that particular case right there, pressure coming right up the middle, his offensive line whiffed. He drifted to the right and gave the receiver a catchable ball. He's definitely showing that veteran presence right now at quarterback for the Hogs.
Fortin on 2nd and 10. Steps up with the pressure collapsing off the edge, and it was Roy who found him. So now a big 3rd down coming up for Arkansas.
And on 3rd down, there's only one guy you need to keep an eye on, and that's number 40 for LSU. Harold Perkins right here, end of your screen, potentially working in a one-on-one against that right tackle.
He has 3 sacks today. 3rd down and 9. Fortin. That is incomplete. He was looking for Landers, and Garner had coverage.
Now they've basically said uncle Arkansas has when it comes to Harold Perkins. They've had Trey Knox over there at tight end to help out for Tykeus Crawford, the backup right tackle who made the start today, in for the place of the injured Dalton Wagner. Clearly making it a huge point of emphasis, saying we cannot let 40 affect this game as much as he has in the final quarter of this football game.
Reed Bauer on for his 6th punt. Clayton calls for the fair catch down around the 17-yard line. LSU's trying to clinch this division today. They still got a lot of business to do with just under 9 minutes to play here at Fayetteville.
Fresh Refresh just won't stop. Now Subway's refreshing their catering with easy order platters and lunchbox.
The College Football Playoff National Championship. Monday, January 9th on ESPN.
Greg, as you know, the College Football Playoff rankings are brought to you by Verbo.
Potentially some shakeups today. Of course, TCU, an underdog right now on the road in Austin against the Longhorns tonight. Bama and Ole Miss should be a great one coming up here in just a little bit. And then Oregon, a difficult game against a rival there in Washington. Of course, it's in Autzen Stadium, though, so advantage Ducks.
Jaden Daniels on 1st down, going to the outside and going up high and getting it is Neighbors. What's going on, Matt Barry?
All right, Joe Tess, got an update for you here between Kentucky and Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt had the lead until Chris Rodriguez Jr. off the left side breaks through the tackles. Kentucky does not want to be the team that ends Vanderbilt's SEC losing streak. Right now, they retake it 21-17.
Good action there in Lexington. Josh Williams made the first man miss and then continues with that power running for 9 yards. Hudson Clark couldn't come up with the tackle getting into that hole.
Yeah, look at the little shake, though, by Williams. Little shimmy, Hudson Clark right there in a difficult spot. Tries to break down, but a little wiggle there by the running back forces him to miss. Tell you, man, Williams is a good back. Very well-rounded, and now, of course, over 100 yards on the day.
And on 2nd and 1, he's able to keep his balance and get out to the 48-yard line.
We've talked earlier in the show that this LSU offensive line is big, they're very physical, and it's this part of the game in which you really start to feel the weight across the board. I mean, you have 2 guys that are over 330, 2 guys that are over 320, and a center that's right around 300. And this is a big group that will wear you down as the game goes along.
Daniels pulls it, and he is tripped up right at midfield by Dwight McGlothern, a former LSU player. Started 6 games over 2 seasons for LSU.
Nice tackle there from McGlothern. Expect you got to continue to just try to run the football if you're LSU, but you have a one-on-one right here up top if you choose to take advantage of what looks like it might be man coverage.
Daniels on 2nd and 7. And that is incomplete, as Jeray Jenkins was well covered by Quincy McAdoo, the true freshman who started the year as a wide receiver, has been very effective as a corner.
Yeah, really nicely done here. As you can see, McAdoo kind of squatting but watching man coverage all the way. It's a good job of breaking on it. That ball's in the air for a long time and not one that Jenkins could come up with.
3rd and 7. Keyshawn Boutte in motion. 3rd and 7. Daniels looks over to the left side, and that tackle by Jaden Johnson is going to have Kayshawn short of the line to gain. And the offense will be quick to get up to the line of scrimmage for 4th and short.
I think it's a good spot there by the official as well.
And apparently the official didn't agree. He went up there and moved it back.
There, now they've split the difference as the umpire goes in and makes the adjustment.
It's 4th and 1 no matter. 4th down and 1. LSU trying to stamp this victory. Josh Williams is short of it. Simeon Blair with the tackle on 4th down. And Arkansas will take over.
And you just see the crash on the end of the line of scrimmage. This would be one that Jaden Daniels really needs to pull. As you can see, the defender, Blair, crashing right on the running back. The quarterback there, pull the ball, and then you're one-on-one in the open field with a lot of space. I'll take my chances if I'm Jaden Daniels, one-on-one with a safety. Just a bad read there, but an excellent play by Blair to drop Williams in the backfield.
Cade Fortin came in as the quarterback for Malik Hornsby. And now Rocket Sanders trying to turn the corner, and he does successfully. So Fortin comes in and sparks this offense. The defense comes up with a big 4th down stop. And now under 6 minutes to play in Arkansas on LSU's side of the 50, marching. Fortin. As that's going to lose yardage as Sanders was wrapped up by Greg Penn. Remember what's at stake in this game. LSU coming off that huge win, the thriller against Bama. They can clinch the SEC West if they hold on and win here at Arkansas. And if Bama wins at Ole Miss. Ole Miss would still be alive with a win against Alabama. But right now, Ole Miss could get some help if the Hogs can get things done here in the last 5 minutes. Sanders couldn't escape Baskerville.
And I tell you what, as the game's gone along, Baskerville's made some incredible plays. But Jaquelin Roy, number 99, man, this dude is just starting to eat up front. You talk to this staff, I mean, that's the guy that has really stepped up these last few weeks and is playing his best football here at the end of the season.
Third down and 10. Fortin. Oh, he was best as he tried to throw it. And Baskerville comes up with it. Baskerville down to the 20-yard line. And guess who it was? Harold Perkins, that destructive force again.
The field is a fumble recovered by the defense.
You don't have to go far to ask who's the most dominant breakout player on LSU's defense.
Man, and is the ball going forward? They rule on the field that it was not, but they're of course going to look at it. But man, Harold Perkins, look at him coming off the edge. And they actually have a running back on that side. Rocket Sanders is there to help out the tackle, but instead Rocket Sanders almost picks the tackle, which allows Perkins to get around the edge and ultimately make contact with Fortin, who's trying to deliver the football. Watch number 5, how he kind of bumps 53 and slows him down, but man, it's so close. Anytime the ball travels forward, to me, it makes me think that the hand was traveling forward, which ultimately would lead to an incompletion. But this should be a good look at it right here. And right there, as you can see, looks like, man, there's the hand moving forward. as the ball is coming out.
Matt Austin, go through the process with us, our rules expert.
Well, the rule is if the quarterback's hand starts forward with control of the ball, then it's a forward pass. And to me, it looks like he does start the hand forward just as the player comes in to bat it. So I would think this would be a forward pass that would be overturned to an incomplete pass.
As you can see right there, it's loaded and then it starts to come forward. So I would agree with you. I think it's an incomplete pass. It's really close. Of course, it has to be indisputable video evidence beyond all doubt to overturn. But to me, it looks like that hand is traveling forward as the ball comes out. So if I were the official, I would call this incomplete and overturn the call on the field.
If it stands, it's a 30-yard fumble return. If they say the arm's moving forward, incomplete. And we will rack it up for a 4th down. And not to get away too far from the replay, but Harold Perkins continues to just dominate this game. Heard from our rules expert, Matt Austin, who believes that you should get this overturned and go from a fumble with a 30-yard return to an incomplete pass.
And of course, what might take so long, though, you got to look at the clock here. Obviously, it's now an incompletion as compared to what it was. So you reset the clock, and you got to figure out where was the ball.
After review, the passer had firm control of the ball with his hand moving forward. Therefore, it is an incomplete pass. Be 4th down at the 43-yard line.
And that is the case. So it'll be 4th down. But that guy right there, number 40, is a terror.
Just completely taken over the game as a true freshman. But a good call there by the official. And look, I mean, they have the running back there, Rocket Sanders, number 5. He's there to chip, to help out his tackle. And that time, the chip kind of hurt them more than it helped them because he chipped the tackle, which allowed Perkins to get around the edge more cleanly and ultimately make contact with Fortin's arm.
Max Fletcher, the 6'5" true freshman, will be the puncher. Greg Clayton's going to put those heels on the 10-yard line.
I agree with this decision, too. Might think about maybe going for it, but not with this much time and knowing how well your defense has played, especially in the second half.
And that's going to settle down at about the 12-yard line. And even 4 minutes to play with so much on the line in the SEC West. LSU holding on to a 3-point lead when we return.
It can handle double trouble.
For the #1 stain fighter and odor remover, it's got to be Tide.
Hey, Greg, Tuesday is going to be fun, my man. State Farm Champions Classic. You got number 4 Kentucky, Michigan State at 7. Are you on the College Football Reveal show?
Not this week.
Not this week. Okay. No. College Football Playoff Top 25 rankings with Reese and the crew without Greg at 9, and then Duke, Kansas, number 7, number 5 to top it. Well, you were excellent this past week. You'll get an invite back, I'm sure. 4 minutes to play. LSU back on offense. Josh Williams is taken down at the 14-yard line by Stewart. Yes, it's cold here. They had an inch of snow on the field this morning, but if you're in that shade, you are feeling it. Temperature 36 at kickoff. Second and 8. Here's Kane on the ground. As he gets out to the 18-yard line. So it'll be 3rd down a long 4 there. Jaden Johnson made the tackle.
Big decision here, of course. You can throw it at the risk of potentially stopping the clock, or you can continue to try to churn away on the ground to eat a little bit more time. I think you have to go full offense here. Throw it. If you leave a little extra time on the clock, who cares? I think picking up the 1st down is more important than thinking about the clock at this point of the game.
They're only 3 of 12 on third down today. 3rd and 4, sprint right. Daniels look familiar. Jaray Jenkins, but look at where he is marked. As let's see where they put this ball down. Remember, the yellow line is unofficial.
Looks like it's a pretty good spot.
It is a fairly generous spot, but we'll see where he reaches out to. Yellow line is unofficial. Jenkins forward progress. They're going to move the chains and give him the first down, but that is that sprint right that was run last week in overtime with the 2-point conversion.
Same exact play, just different guy that's on the receiving end, but sprint right option, an old West Coast offense staple, and
the ruling on the field
run the well there.
The line of game.
They're going to take a look at it. It looked initially like he was going to be a little bit short, but it was a real favorable spot there on the sideline. Ultimately, that's on the receiver. I mean, you got to understand how far you got to go. And Jenkins runs that route real short, and the off-target throw certainly didn't help matters either.
And keep in mind, the camera view you're looking at, the angle you're looking at, is not down the line. So it's an inexact science to say that you have the perfect evidence. Matt Austin, our longtime rules expert, what do you see?
Well, Joe, I agree with you and Greg, and you're right. You can't see, the view is not right down the line, and anytime you get this view, it's going to push the ball carrier back further. But if he needs to get to the line, you can see the runner is right between the 2 hash marks, and I never saw the ball come out to get to the line to gain, so I think he's short. But is that indisputable evidence to overturn it? Calling the field's a first down, I have a feeling it's going to stand.
Yeah, and sometimes, and Matt, I feel like it's very rare to see calls like this overturned. Spot of the ball, especially when we're talking about a half yard at most. So I think it's very difficult, like you said, to create indisputable video evidence beyond all doubt to overturn. I think he's a little bit short, but I can't tell you without a shadow of a doubt where that football is at that point right there.
Dwight McGlothern was the cornerback who was a former teammate of Jaray Jenkins, the receiver for LSU. He transferred from LSU to Arkansas. 2:18 to play, and obviously if LSU gets the first down, they're in 4-minute offense, and they can try to put this game away. 3 timeouts with Arkansas remain. Arkansas gets the repositioning, and they got a chance to get the ball back and make some magic.
I think he's short. I don't know about y'all. I just more
to my eye, it felt short.
100%
live action.
Absolutely, live action. It felt short. Everything about it felt short, and then the spot, of course, it seemed favorable, but it's really difficult to tell from the looks we have exactly where that ball was.
After video review, the ruling on the field that the runner made the line to gain stands. First down.
And I think that's one of those, as it favors LSU with the first down. You see the reaction by Sam Pittman from Arkansas. I think that's one of those that Matt Austin, mentions, hey, but do you have that video evidence where you can say, undoubtedly, it needs to be repositioned and it is not the line of game.
Exactly.
And in this case, it's a first down for LSU.
Yeah, and there isn't anything concrete that would lead you to think that that ball absolutely has to be moved back. So I think it was a correct call by the SEC officiating crew in the review booth.
Good to have the call on the field. Daniels on first down. He's going to get some help from his true freshman right tackle, Emory Jones, and a flag is down as Jones was just bear hugging Jaden Daniels and said, let me see if I can get some yardage for you.
I think it might be aiding the runner too here, because it looked like Emory Jones was kind of picked up Jaden Daniels and kind of fell backwards for him, which gave him an extra 4 or 5 yards. You can push the runner, but you cannot pull the runner.
Aiding the runner on the offense, 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Yeah, you can push, but what you can't do is say, I'm going to turn you into a human suitcase and carry you down the field.
Right. What Emory's doing there is perfectly fine, but as he turns and then starts to fall backwards, wrapping him up, He slammed Emery into the ground pretty good, too.
It was a better tackle than we've seen from many of the defensive players today.
It was well-intentioned, but just poor mechanics, and it now has LSU behind the sticks.
The officials are running in to discuss things.
It is interesting there on that first down play, by the way, that LSU would drop back and throw it in 4-minute offense. I might add, of course, Jaden ultimately decided to run, but the fact that a pass play was called was a little surprising as well from LSU.
And here Brian Kelly reminding, take the clock down. A week after the sensational 25-yard touchdown run in overtime and the game-winning 2-point conversion, it's been a little more of a challenge on the road in the cold here against this Arkansas defense. First and 15 after the penalty. And Bumper Pool slams down Noah Cain.
Timeout, Arkansas. Immediately, obviously, Arkansas did a good job of preserving those timeouts for the most critical drive of the game defensively.
You know, I think Sam Perkins gets some credit for putting his team in position here. 3-point game against number 7 team in the country when you're dealing with injuries all over the place, including your starting quarterback. And then you go for the switch up and you say, listen, we're going to put in a new quarterback. It sparked things back.
Yeah, give yourself a chance, right? I mean, Malik Hornsby, for as athletic as he is and how gifted he is, just wasn't his day. Wasn't seeing the field real well. Didn't have much rhythm in the offense. So you go with the veteran in Cade Fortin that has been around, has played college football for 5 years, and he's really done a great job of giving this offense a chance. And the receivers also on the outside have done a pretty good job stepping up as well.
They absolutely did. And right now, 1:55 to play. Arkansas using the first of their 3 timeouts.
Been thoroughly impressed, too, with Arkansas's defense today. I mean, LSU, they're not exactly a juggernaut offensively, but they have been playing phenomenal football for the last 3 or 4 weeks offensively. And to hold them to just 272 and just 86 yards through the air is pretty dang impressive from a defense that has certainly had their fair share of ups and downs this season.
So off the Arkansas timeout. Jaden Daniels will keep it, spins, but cannot get free of Hudson Clark. And the 2 timeouts remaining for Arkansas, so they can manage things here, and they will use a timeout. So now a big 3rd down will come.
Good job keying on Jaden Daniels here. They try to go with a little zone read wrap, and they're all over it. The Arkansas Razorback defenders. Jaden tried to get a little bit of a call there. I admire the effort. But no way the referee's going to throw it there. If I'm Mike Denbrock, no way I put it in the air right here. If anything, I spread them out. I go in 5 wide. I'd go in empty, and then I'd go with a quarterback draw here in 3rd and long. Let's see what the offensive coordinator for LSU opts to go with.
That is what they're playing for each and every year. The battle for the Golden Boot. The 4-foot-tall, golden-shaped outline of the 2 states. Arkansas can get the stop and use the timeout. Cain still going. Cain nearly gets it on 3rd and 14.
What an effort there. by Kane. I mean, just refusing to go down. And also give a little love to Mason Taylor as well, number 86, the hero last week, just pushing as hard as he can, because that thing got dangerously close to the line to gain and essentially putting this one on ice.
And Arkansas, of course, uses their last timeout. Remember, an LSU win and an Alabama win, and LSU is going for the SEC championship game. A reminder that tomorrow night at 8 Eastern on the SEC Network, it is True South, the latest episode. John T. Edge going to travel to Jackson, Mississippi, meet the locals, eat some great food. And of course, always talk about the True South. That is tomorrow night at 8 Eastern on SEC Network. Fabulously produced show. Fortin wants his chance. Stevens, of course, is a weapon. He had an 82-yard punt return in the fourth quarter comeback earlier this year. Bramblett on to punt away with 1:43 to play. Low snap, able to field it. Sends a knuckler that takes a very good LSU bounce, though, and goes harmlessly out of bounds. And that leaves 1:35 to play. That is the guy that Arkansas will have to deal with, Harold Perkins.
Well, those are the guys that make big bucks at the next level because they close games. Look at him all day today. He has been a complete destroyer of whoever's in at quarterback for the Arkansas Razorbacks, whether it was triggering as quarterback would break contain. He's been asked to spy Malik Hornsby, and remember, Malik Hornsby has elite speed. However, Perkins has shown that he also has elite speed as an edge rusher. But you remember the Super Bowl, Aaron Donald put the game on ice. He finished it. When you are a pass rusher, you're a closer. This is Perkins' opportunity to continue his dominance and end this game.
Or will Cade Fortin do something special? Could have started off with a good one to Matt Landers, but it's dropped. Remember, Cade Fortin came into the game here in the second half in place of a really ineffective, at least passing the ball, Malik Hornsby, and he sparked things. Had a drive where he went 4 for 4, had the 40-yard touchdown pass to Landers, and now he gets his chance. A guy who started his career at North Carolina, transferred to USF, and comes here to Arkansas where he's number 3, and now comes in, and with a minute 32 against the number 7 team in the country, what does he have? Here's Fortin, second down. Gets it complete as it goes to Hazelwood. First down, Arkansas.
Very nicely done there by Fortin, and excellent job up front as well with the protection. Hazelwood gets a little outbreaker on a little bit of a layered concept and also finds the sideline. Nicely executed by the Hogs.
Fortin. He was hit as he was throwing, and it was Perkins again. Harold Perkins has been harassing Arkansas all day long. And are they saying that's a loud ball?
The ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by the defense.
They are saying that's a fumble recovered by LSU. Wow. The ruling on the field is that this is not a forward pass, that it's a fumble. Was the ball out of his hand? Harold Perkins right on top of Cade Fortin. You be the judge.
It looks like it to me. Remember, the time we just saw a second ago that was ruled incomplete, that ball was in the hand all the way through. Right here, the ball comes loose as Fortin is bringing it back, not moving it forward.
A fumble recovered by the defense. The previous play is on a video review.
All right, let's bring in longtime SEC referee Matt Austin. Matt, what do you see?
Well, I agree with Greg. This is just the opposite. The hand gets hit before the ball comes forward. He loses control. Then the hand comes. I think this is a fumble. This is a good call.
I agree.
Watch the ball. It's out. And then only does his forearm act as a catapult of sorts to make the ball go forward, looking like an incomplete pass.
I mean, and that's just sticking your hand out and just trying to swipe at it as you go by. But I think this call is going to be confirmed And Harold Perkins, we told you just a second ago, this is where you close games. This is why edge rushers in the NFL get paid $20+ million a year to win games. It's exactly what Harold Perkins did right there.
Review, the ruling on the field as that fumble is confirmed. LSU will have the ball 1st and 10.
Harold Perkins, the true freshman sensation, just closed out this game on a day where you cannot possibly play better than he did. Greg, 8 tackles, 6 of them solo, 4 sacks. 4 sacks, tying the single-game LSU record, and that play to end it.
And remember, he had a sack taken off the board that resulted in a fumble that would have ended it 5, 6, 7 minutes ago.
That's right.
Even the numbers, as impressive as they are, his impact on the game might have been even more significant than the numbers would suggest.
Listen, we have been with this LSU team from week 1 forward. We've broadcast 5 of their games. Every single week, whether it's Brian Kelly or Matt House, they will tell you something about Harold Perkins, how special he is, how he can run, how he plays with tenacity, how strong his will is to get to the football. But you know when you start hearing from other coordinators in the league, rival coaches in the league, where they acknowledge how special of a talent this is as a true freshman. The sky is the limit for Harold Perkins, and you are already seeing how dominant of a player he is.
He is an unstoppable force. And the scariest thing is that he's still learning how to play the position. I mean, when he figures it all out and it all comes together, he could be the best linebacker we've seen in college football in a very, very long time.
The boot is going back to Baton Rouge. And here it is, folks. Now you know what's at stake with Bama and Ole Miss. LSU will clinch the SEC West with an Alabama win at Ole Miss today. Katie?
Thanks, Tess. Coach Kelly, the mark of a good team is being able to find different ways to win. Your defense pulled you through. What do you think of their ability to just gut this one out?
Just a great performance. You know, we really didn't find ourselves today on offense, but look, you know, sometimes you got to grind through. I mean, this is a tough league, and the SEC is tough. Arkansas played great today. They were difficult to get anything going, and hat goes off to a coach today. Sam had his team ready to play. And again, we made plays on defense, and that was important. Harold Perkins was outstanding today. He was all over the field. And again, it's survived in the SEC, and we found a way to win on the road when we didn't have our A game, and you just keep, you know, hopefully we learn how we have to prepare offensively week in and week out in this league.
We'd be here a long time if I read you Harold Perkins' stats today.
Crazy.
What do you think when you're watching him play from the sidelines?
That he's on our team, thank God. It's his athletic ability, his ability to consistently make plays. And listen, you know, getting him in position to make plays, too, as a true freshman. I think Coach House has done a great job of utilizing him. Sometimes you have a great player like that and you don't utilize him. I think our staff and Coach House has done a great job of utilizing him to make an impact like he did today here at Arkansas.
People wondered how your team would respond. You still control your own destiny. How proud do you feel to be able to say that?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, look, this is our 5th consecutive SEC game, coming off a big game last week. You know, they fought hard today. It wasn't the best performance, but again, give credit to Arkansas. They played great defense today, and we just had enough to get the win.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Greg, what's your takeaway?
Just a gutsy effort by both teams, I might add. I mean, neither team had their best stuff, but the defenses on both sides made tremendous plays throughout the course of the game, and LSU just continues to do what LSU has done all year. They find a way to, when the game goes to zeros, they find a way to be on top. Might not always be pretty, but that final score looks pretty dang good. And Harold Perkins, if you don't know his name by now, you better learn it. This dude is going to be a nightmare for everyone in college football for years to come.
He had 4 sacks. He was unstoppable. 13-10, number 7 LSU gets by. For Katie and Greg, I'm Joe Tessitore. Enjoy the rest of your day, including our visit to the college football scoreboard coming up in moments.
ESPN thanks you for watching this presentation of the Southeastern Conference.
You need to do the